Hello everyone, this is Soumya Srivastav and here I am with my first video based on a very basic topic of cell. Okay, as you all know that the Bioverse Academy is totally based on a biology channel. In this channel, we will discuss more about biology in deep to make your concept more easy to understandable and increase your score marks also. So, without wasting our time, I would like to welcome you all to my channel, Bioverse Academy. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Please like, share, and subscribe. So, today I will start with the very basic that cell. As you all know, we all are made up of cell. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. So, this thing, or we can say the study of cells, cytology, have so many things to learn and understand. But today we generally discuss few points. Just like we will discuss about the cell discovery means how and when who discovered the cell, how it, all things come in existence. When there is nothing, it is very difficult to understand the science behind those things. We generally make hypotheses, and with the facts, we convert into a real history. So, we all start with the discovery of cell, then we will move to the cell theory, who explain about what is a cell, how it arises, and how it is known as the functional unit of life. Then we will discuss a little bit more about type of cell based on their size, cell shape, and in the last, living organism based on cells. So when we talk about discovery of cell, it all started with Robert Hooke. In 1665, Robert Hooke, who designed his own microscope, and under his own microscope, he observed a cork cell. A cork cell. I hope you all understand what is a cork. A cork is an airtight cap we use to make thing airtight. Just like in champagne bottle, you can observe it in the champagne bottle. With a very thin slice of cork under the microscope, Robert Hooke observed that there is a structure like honeycomb, means the house of honeybee. Like this, it is a hexagonal structure. Under his own microscope he observed, through which he comes to the point or term cell. Cell means little room. According to Robert Hooke, these structures are like little rooms. So he termed it as a little room. In this way, the first dead cell was discovered. I am repeating this again, the dead cell. After this dead cell, the first living cell was observed by Antony von Leeuwenhoek. He was a scientist who observed a bacteria cells in a pond water. This was the discovery of first living cell in the pond water. Then we move to the next part of the cell, that is the cell theory. When we discovered about the cell, now the times arises to know more about the cell. There are two different scientists, Sheldon and Swan. They are performing experiments to understand the living organism in different countries, in different places, and but at a different time also. Sheldon comes to know that all the plants are made up of cells. Sheldon comes to know that all the plants are made up of cells. And in the same time, next year, 1858, Swan comes to know about that all the animals are also made up of cells. So, from the conclusion of Sheldon and Swan, Swan concluded a cell theory. According to this theory, all animals and plants are made up of cells. Cell perform all the activity, all the metabolic activity take place inside the living cell. Either multicellular or unicellular, all the organisms are made up of cell. So this theory was given by Selden and Swan, proposed by Swan. And after few years, there's a next question arise from where this cell arises, how it formed, how it basically originate. So the third scientist come into existence, that is Rudolf Virchow. He explained us, he proved us that all cell arise from a pre-existing cell. So basically, cell theory is made by, or we can say proposed by Theodor Schilden and Swan and improvised by Rudolf Virchow. According to this theory, we have three main postulates. Number one, all organisms, either plant or animal, are made up of cell. The next is cell is a basic unit of life. Basic unit, that means it is a structural and functional unit of life. And the last thing, all cell arises from a pre-existing cell. Just as I mentioned, all living beings are made up of cell, everything. But there are some exceptions. These exceptions are viruses. So the exception is the virus. Viruses are considered as link between non-living and living things. It is not a living organism because it do not have a cellular structure. That's the reason we do not consider virus as a living organism or living identity. Next we move toward the why we call cell as a basic unit of life. Because whatever function we perform, whatever structure we have, suppose we have the structure like a human, this is all because of the cell. There is something inside the cell which codes for everything, every detail of our body, every detail of our behavior even. Just like for a dog, for a elephant, for a rat, for a plant, for a tree, everything was coded inside the cell in the nucleus. That is, we will learn in the next classes about chromosome. So whatever structure we have, it is just because of the cell. Whatever function we perform, just like respiration, reproduction, everything was done by the cell even every work. That's why we call cell is the basic structural and functional unit of our life. But now the next and more important thing comes that there are different type of cells also. One of the type of cell is based on the type of nucleus. What kind of nucleus is it? Then on that basis there are two type of cell. One is prokaryotic cell and other is eukaryotic cell. So basically class, prokaryotic, pro means primitive or we can say old type. A cell without well-defined nucleus is considered as prokaryotic cell. In such cell there is no nucleus, means the nucleic material or we can say the chromosome is not enveloped, it is not closed inside any kind of envelope or structure. But in U means true nucleus, carry-on means nucleus. In true nucleus cell, there is a well-defined nucleus which is double membrane organelle in which the all genetic material was enclosed. So basically, prokaryotic cells are those cells which are primitive type. There is no nucleus. There is nucleoid present, which is a chromosomal material only. There is no membrane bond structure present there. You have learned about there are so many different cell organelles just like mitochondria, chloroplast, endoplasmic reticulum. These all are absent in a prokaryotic cell. What present in a prokaryotic cell? So for any living identity, there are two, three things which are more important. First, that the nucleic material, either DNA or RNA. So in the prokaryotic cell, the nucleic material is present in the form of nucleoid or double circular DNA and there's a protein machinery, we call it ribosome. In prokaryotic DNA, in prokaryotic cell, there is 80, 70S type of ribosome. We will learn more detail about what is 70S type of ribosome, what is 80S type of ribosome. But for this introductory class, I would like to just conclude it in that form that in a prokaryotic cell, there is a cell membrane, cell wall, nucleoid, cell cytoplasm, ribosome, and some other modification of the cell membrane. In our next class, we will deal in more detail about the prokaryotic cell, the different function of their parts of the cell, whatever it is. And when we talk about eukaryotic cell, again, it is a well-defined nucleus. There is present double membrane bond structure are present. There are different membrane bond structure are present, just like there is a endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, vacuole, nucleus, mitochondria. So many are there. What is unique in eukaryote? There are 80s ribosome and 70s ribosome in the organelles. When we talk about prokaryotic examples, so bacteria is the best example of prokaryotic cell. Mycoplasm, bacteria, these are the best example of prokaryotic cell. When we talk about eukaryotic cell, all the animal cell, plant cell, fungus cell, these all are basically a eukaryotic cell. So I hope today we have learned a little bit more introductory part of the cell. If you like my channel, please subscribe it. We will make it more detailed, more deep, and clear all your basic concept, whatever required. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I'm available 24 into 7 with you all. I will clear your all doubts through this channel. So till then, take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.